What's going on, people? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Spirits, Bikershit, and Nonsense. As a matter of fact, this is episode 14. We just keep on keeping on. And I'm here with my very good brother and friend, Frank the motherfucking Tank. What's going on?
What's happening? Episode 14, man. It's going to be a great episode. We have some special guests here today.
Hell yeah, dude.
If you don't mind, I'll do the introductions.
Well, let's do it, dude. Let's do it.
So we have the one and only Josh Rundlett from Rundlett Performance and Machine, aka RPM, and we have Steven Nolsol Wilson, who's one of our club brothers, and also works with Josh over at RPM and takes care of all of our bikes and fucking. If you ever want something fucking built badass, this is the person that you need to talk to.
Hell yeah. What's going on, Josh? How you doing, bro?
I am freaking fabulous. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, dude. It's always a good time hanging out with you guys. So appreciate y'all coming out and doing this with us, dude.
You're welcome, even on a Monday.
Yeah.
That's it. So, Steven, we got to tell them about your nickname, bro.
What, because I'm a soulless fucking ginger?
That's it.
Pretty easy to figure that one out.
No soul, because he's a ginger.
If anyone's ever seen
Because
South
he's been
Park,
infected with gingivitis.
He's also part of a mafia.
Oh, that's it.
Oh,
Ginger mafia.
Nice.
I'll
He
fight
wears
you,
a
you're,
cape.
you're dead forever.
Yes.
He wears a cape in the evening time.
So check this out, Frank. I know I filled you in when I got it, but over the weekend I went to Arizona Bike Week, met up with some club brothers, and one of them had some homemade moonshine.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. I think he bought it. I think he bought it at the store somewhere.
Yes.
So,
It was made at somebody's home.
yeah, exactly.
It's actually not illegal to make at home in small volumes. You know that, right? It's kind of like your beer kits and stuff, so you don't have to, tiptoe around about it. Unless the man, is making a tank of it. But needless to say,
It's like making gallons at a time, but it's
Just
no
in
profit.
case. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
allegedly, I found this on the side of the road. Get
I'm
him to
not
the
quite
Lord.
sure how much you did.
That's it.
Hey.
So,
Anyhow, I've tasted this, and dude, it's fucking amazing. So,
yeah, so we always start
Let's
off the
do it.
show with a toast. And we always dedicate the toast to the men and women out there serving our country, whooping it on with the in the United States military services, whichever branch you may be in. This is to you. We salute you. Thank you for protecting our freedoms and making it possible for us to do what we do. Cheers. Ooh, that's good. That shit's dangerous, bro.
dude, I told you
don't even
it's
taste the
so
alcohol in this thing.
fucking good, dude.
I didn't taste the alcohol, but I had to like go because it's sweet.
Yeah.
Really sweet.
So, I know a bit about making moonshine.
Oh shit, I want to hear it.
Talk to us. Educate us.
You are in
Alright,
Iowa.
so you guys talk about me build motorcycles, right?
Right.
Well, we haven't gotten there yet, but yes,
Okay, so
same thing.
I want to say the year was 2016. I was on my second hot bike tour. And I was in Asheville, North Carolina. And the second day we ended up in Maggie Valley, Tennessee. And by the way, is a 100% biker destination because it has one of the raddest motorcycle museums in this like 300 population town.
Oh shit.
Maggie Valley.
Maggie Valley, Tennessee. And it's part of the Blue Ridge, or the Smoky Mountain National Forest right there as well. So, unbelievable. You know how you've had those moments in your life where you're riding and you have this breathtaking experience that your eyes are orgasming over?
Yep.
Okay,
It happens a lot. Just saying.
so that being said,
He was right after Palm Springs.
no, it wasn't Stevens. And there's no Smoky Mountain anything unless it's on fire. So, anyways, I'm leaving Asheville, North Carolina, and we're taking off on the Blue Ridge Parkway. And you're cruising, and there's just, I don't even know if you could draw it I mean, it's movie epic scenery that you're riding through, and the trees are making a tunnel that you're riding through because they're overgrown over the top of
That's
you.
badass.
And you come out and you can see this light that you're riding towards, and all of a sudden you come out and you're on the edge of a mountain, and you can see the smoke coming through the trees, or fog, basically. And just that was the start of our day. We ended up at Maggie Valley for our first event night, or second event night, excuse me. And that is where I got to meet Josh from Moonshiners, because he was working on how that was all just starting around that time.
That's
And-
awesome.
And
Wait, you say Moonshiners the
It's
TV
a
show?
show.
Oh
Yes.
shit!
Yes.
Okay.
And
okay.
so the way he looks on the TV show is how he looks in real life. He doesn't hold any punches. I mean, skinny as a rail and big coveralls, and that's it.
Yeah.
Driving an old beat up Dodge pickup, you
That's
know.
awesome.
That's good shit.
And needless to say, he brought some tasters over. Now, this here, the way it's distilled, to me, it doesn't come. This doesn't taste, and I could be wrong, but it doesn't taste like it comes from a normal distill. This is almost like made on your oven top.
Gotcha.
It's it has that syrupy thing to it a little bit.
Yeah, it's really thick.
It's really thick. Usually
That's what she said.
that gets cut a little bit more from the alcohol pour when you're doing it out of the raccoon dick,
Right.
if you will.
Yep.
And so, needless to say, that is a good moonshine, but I don't know if it is as holy grail as what everyone would want it to be.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I went out to Nashville and drove out to the Jack Daniels
Yeah.
distillery out there, and you can pick up some good moonshine along the way, like
Oh, yeah.
different places selling it. And I bought a couple bottles out there, and holy shit, that's no joke, man.
Well,
Some of their stuff is like gasoline with flavor. Like it's ridiculous. Like you know that you have to be real careful with drinking a whole lot of that because you're going to end up on your ass.
100%. No, 100%. You know, I mean, I'm not a professional where you shake the jar and you look at it. I'm still studying that shit to a certain degree, you know, and or lighting it to see the flame or the lack thereof.
Yeah. So when you shake it, it's the amount of bubbles it gives you what the proof is, right?
that
Like
is
how long? Something
yes,
like that?
but I think that takes education of looking at it, you know, doing it all the time to know 100% what you're looking for. I think that if there's less bubbles, I think there's more alcohol, but I could be dead wrong on that. It could be the polar opposite.
Gotcha.
I don't really know. But but needless to say, I've been around a lot of this when I've been out there, and holy crap, like banana. I had banana when I was out there,
Ooh, that
Oh,
sounds
shit.
amazing, dude.
and it was refreshing. It wasn't as syrupy, is my point, and
Gotcha.
and so you could just drink it, and
Until number 5.
Yeah.
you know, like if you drink the whole jar, you're done.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking like 130 proof type stuff.
Wow.
You know, I mean, and they make it even stronger than that.
Now, what was the old dude on the show with the big, long, pointy beard? Remember that guy?
I didn't watch the
What
show
hell
with
was his
him.
name? That dude was awesome, and his technique that they showed in the show,
Yeah,
you could tell that was something that was handed down like
yeah.
generation to generation. And his grandfather and great grandfather were out there moonshining in the hills and making this shit. You could just tell it was like a craft to him. It's not something he just picked up overnight.
I think you're talking about Popcorn.
There you
Isn't
go.
his
I
name
think
like
it's
Popcorn or something like that?
I'll be
I'll
honest.
look him up right now.
Oh,
But yeah,
that's
dude.
cool.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't watch the show that much. You know, unfortunately, all those shows start out really cool, right? But then they never.
Popcorn Sutton.
Yeah.
Ooh, I was close.
Well, the other two guys that are always on the show would talk about him a little bit more than anyone else that I remember. But now, I don't know. The show kind of messes up the reality of things, you know,
Yeah.
because it that's the flaw of a lot of these shows. I mean, it really goes with motorcycle building because there's legitimate people that think you can do this shit in 7 days. Pretty
Yeah,
far
like
from
that whole fucking biker build off stuff and all that crazy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I get they were building these bikes and then they're like, oh, we're going to ride cross country. And they get across country in 14 minutes on the fucking show. And I'm like, dude, I've ridden across country. I know what it fucking takes, and there's no goddamn way that they were that comfortable getting to their fucking final destination on those bikes. Not gonna happen. You could tell that there was a lot of time of rest before that final take or those takes are done when they're pulling into a town. Because shit, dude, I was herding on a nice, comfortable road glide, and some of these dudes are on fucking hardtails, and they're riding literally from the East Coast to the West Coast, and they're pulling into towns like they're refreshed and everything's fine, and they're just walking around like everything's good. I'm like, there's no fucking way.
They trailered it for 1,000
Yeah,
miles.
there's
and
no
rode it for 50.
fucking way.
Tank.
Yeah.
Those are what I call young lads.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe so. But
We're
still.
old as fuck, bro. We
You say
need
that,
we
you say
need the
that,
big
but he would
heavy
do it.
bike.
Oh,
Well,
I know.
Josh is freaking. He's out there, bro. He
What?
does some crazy shit, and like you wouldn't think he'd ride across freaking country with that, but yeah, no bags, no nothing.
You know,
It's
that,
freaking-
his answer when I met him, when I first bought that Softail, the mid controls, I was having a hip problem. I'm 6 foot tall. So my hips are in my knee, in my chin, like a Kermit the Frog on this bike.
Oh, hey, what else were you
You
doing?
want to know his answer to it?
What
Keep
else were
riding
you
it,
doing?
The pain will go away. You get muscle memory, it'll just stop. That was his answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
See,
so how many of you guys have done an iron butt ride?
right here.
I've done 3 of them,
Badass.
and the last one was 1,600 miles nonstop.
Yeah, I think mine was 1,200. Here's what I did. So and just to clarify, in case anybody fucking Googles it or there's a way to look it up, I didn't submit for the certificate.
I didn't either.
I didn't keep the fucking receipts and photograph the mileage and all that shit. But I had my brothers that were fucking watching me on Live 360 or whatever the fuck it's called, right? And they were tracking me, and I rode from New Jersey to Springfield, Missouri.
Yep.
In one day.
I
Which
think
is
you're
about
bullshitting
1,200
because it
miles.
only showed 999 miles.
Bullshit. So, and I could have kept
That
going, but it
was
was
like-
fucking, it was
He
like,
finally stopped and I called him. Hey
yeah.
bro, you okay?
Yeah. So it was
Yeah.
like fucking 9:30 p.m. when I finally stopped. And I could have kept going, but it was pouring rain. Like super bad. The fucking freeways were slippery as shit. Cars aren't paying attention. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Next hotel, I'm done. I'll find a spot to crash out, and that'll be that. But had it been a clear night, I could have gone for a couple more hours at least. But yeah, that was those were fucking rough rides. And talking about that scenery, right? Rolling through Albuquerque. Shout out to my Albuquerque brothers out there. But rolling through Albuquerque and just seeing like the red mountains, all the red dirt everywhere, and you're out in the middle of fucking nowhere. And I'm rolling through there early in the morning as the sun's coming up. Just gorgeous country, man.
When you were on the 40,
Yeah,
the road is red.
yeah, fucking
Because they
beautiful.
use the
dude.
mountain clay to make the road.
Oh, it's so beautiful out there. And just like I said, as the sun's coming up, I was freezing my ass off. But as the sun's coming up, and you just see like just the mountains, just everything's just red around you, badass.
Hey Josh, could you do me a favor? That little remote control right there, can you grab it for me? I know.
Don't worry about it. I got it. Hold on. I got
it.
You just relax. I got it.
Because I'm a fat guy, and I need some AC up in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? If you got to turn it on, shit.
It's a perfect 72 degrees in here, but JT needs it to be 62.
You know, why don't you just take your sweatshirt off there, fella?
Yeah.
Just
There is
saying.
that.
Instead of inconveniencing the fucking rest of us to have to go.
Well,
Hey! Hey!
I mean, it is the day of conservation, so you might want to take the sweatshirt off and ease up on the power grid, you know?
These guys. No.
We're in California, man. You gotta conserve.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. What you gotta do. Secondly, who you guys want to do another shot
So,
with me, or am I just doing
back to
this
that.
myself?
No, I'll drink with you.
Back to
Okay.
the Iron Butt ride, right? When I lived in Des Moines, Iowa, and I was working for Zook's Harley Davidson, and I want to say the year was 2001, 2002. The owner of that store did a really neat deal with the Cancer Society there, and they would turn around and they would do an iron butt ride, and you would go out and get sponsored by people. You had to show up with at least $500 being sponsored.
Okay.
So you get sponsored, people donate, you have $20, $100, whatever. Some guy might give you all 500, however it works, right? And your goal is to get as much as you can. You know, it's really immaterial. If you show up with 10 grand or 500, you do whatever you want to do.
Right.
Some people are overachievers, some are minimalists that just go to
Yeah.
bare minimum, whatever, right? So, but I always liked to do it at night. So I would work all damn day, and at 2:30 I'd roll my night train out with 18-inch ape hangers, and I wouldn't have no fucking faggoty goddamn windshield on that motherfucker.
I'm not lying. I want to ride this bike because every time I've moved it and saddled it with my arms up, I don't know how he does it. Your arms are up.
It's 18-inch ape hangers.
Oh, they're 18s?
Now, hold on, but they're on 4.5-inch pullback horizons.
4.5 horizons.
So they're 20-some inches in the air.
That's crazy.
Okay. Now, mind you, talking about inflation, I paid $25 fucking for those handlebars when I bought them.
Holy shit.
25?
Yeah, 2001.
Bastard.
Okay, 2001. I told myself I'm gonna finally get a brand new motorcycle. I've worked for Harley Davidson since 1997. I still, because when I started, dude, everybody thinks there's this life of fucking luxury and, and fame and money and motorcycles. Fuck off. We have to bust our ass every day like everyone else to make a living, okay? And then what you do with your money is what makes you look, I suppose, rich or not, whatever, But I've never owned a brand new fucking vehicle a day in my life but that 2001 Harley Davidson. And I got it on my birthday. It showed up March 16, 2001. I pulled the covers off of it. I uncrated it. I set it up. I did the first burnout with half a mile on the fucking Speedo.
What?
I already had hooker header
Speedo?
exhaust. Hooker header used to make exhaust. I had a hooker header pipe on it. I lowered it. I did all this cool shit. Put the bars on it, and then I rode the fucking guts out of that motorcycle for years. And
So there was no 500-mile braking period, is what
5 minutes.
you're saying.
And this bike still starts and runs. I've never seen a jumper cable on a bike, and it doesn't run for years at a time.
I gotta tell you,
He
man.
just pulls it out, starts it up, go.
I gotta tell you, one of the old timers that I used to ride with told me, "You're fucking breaking your bike the way you ride."
Correct.
He said, "If you
He
do,
tells me that.
and you've said that too, and I've been told that shit for years, right? You breaking the bike the way you fucking ride. Have fun with it. Go fuck around, and your bike will be broken into you." Okay, well,
there's some truth to that. I mean, when they're brand new and if they're big engine stuff, you want to not beat the shit out of it right out of the gate, only so the rings will seat. But that's like the first 1,000 miles, and the only reason is you just don't want to get it too hot. I mean, you can go out and rip it about as hard as you want. I mean, literally, dude, when I was, years ago, I was like, fuck breaking them in. I want to take the thing to the moon on the dyno right out of the gate. If she's going to blow up, I want her to blow up for me. I don't want to find out later. I want to know now. So we would do that. And probably 90-some% of them never used the lick oil. Problem was is sometimes, and I never at the time associated heat and heat soaking during the summer. During the summer, I get motors that use little oil. Yeah, it wasn't a big deal. I mean, you just bottle in the damn cylinder, put some new rings in it, she's running again.
Yeah.
But, also for a mechanic, you can do whatever the fuck you want because you're the one fixing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Good point.
So go out and do it. I mean, I don't necessarily say do what I do because most other people got to pay somebody to do that shit.
Yeah.
It's no different than burning off tires to, whatever. But real quick, because we're spinning in circles slightly, back to the lovely, I want to finish about the hot bike tour. Or not hot bike tour. I want to finish about the
Iron Butt
ride. I never sanctioned it either because, one, I didn't want to wait on that dumb shit for people to do the paperwork, whatever. I was ready to go. And it was kind of funny. The first year I did it, the group of guys that I worked with at the dealership were all pumped up, and we've been talking about it. And who remembers Cannonball Run the Movie?
Oh,
Fuck
come
yeah.
on, dude. It's fucking classic, dude.
Okay. Well,
Come on now.
I told them, let's turn this bitch into a Cannonball Run. They looked at me and they're like, "You're serious?" I go, "You fucking right, I'm serious. I want to bust all this shit out in 12 motherfucking hours. I want 1,200 miles. I want 100 miles an hour. We're fucking doing it." Okay?
That's hardcore, bro.
And I go, let's fucking do it, man.
Is this the same trip where you went through the construction zone that came out of nowhere and just blew through it?
Yeah.
That was that trip?
Yeah. Yeah. So this dude left like 3 hours before us, right? And we take off, and this year was just kind of a simple, boring ride, to be honest with you. We leave Des Moines, Iowa. we go out and run the edge of Nebraska, and we go up into Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and then we hit the 90 and we shoot across South Dakota, and then out in the middle of nowhere, we just turned around and came back. You know, and I looked it all up and I said, you know, dude, if we haul ass, we can hit the bar before closing time. You know, at the halfway point in this one town. And it's Murdo, South Dakota, if I recall right.
Oh man.
And they're like, you think so? And I go, you goddamn right, man. Let's go pound. We'll get there. Let's pound a 12-pack in that bar, and then let's motor home. You know? And they're like, fuck it, let's do it. And I'm all right, cool.
Shit.
So when we went to leave, though, I find out there's an officer that's going to be rolling with us. And I'm like,
Whoa.
Fuck yeah, get out of jail free card, man, let's do this.
Brass bass.
And I ended up with fucking Dudley Do Right. Okay?
Oh, shit.
And he's like, well, man, you know, I'm not going to be doing much over 70. And I go, well, you ain't seeing me the rest of the fucking night. Well, this motherfucker is like buddies with the dudes I work with, right?
Yeah.
And they're just being sallies about this shit. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck you guys in. I'm lone wolfing this motherfucker because I'm staying true to the game. See you later. So I take off. Now, mind you, at that time, I had enough money. Because this is 2001, so it's still the same year I bought my motorcycle. So I had no money left. We had some gas money. This motherfucker couldn't afford no chaps. The chaps I had were the ones I used to wear when I was wrestling cattle.
Holy shit.
Are those the ones we used to cover up the bike today when we
No,
used it?
no, those were other chaps I used to have. But these were brown, and the zippers went the wrong direction, so I'd have to duct tape the bottoms because it want to blow the zipper out.
Holy shit.
Next thing you know, I'd be flapping in the fucking wind and all this other shit, and I barely had any leather, so I was wearing big coveralls and fucking Carhartt coat and no helmet. Helmets were pussies back then because I was in Des Moines, fucking Iowa. There's no helmet law. In fact, everything we did was based around no helmet law state. So I get to the first stop and I'm fixing my gear with some duct tape. You know, I mean, it's NASCAR tape, 200-mile-an-hour tape.
That's
It
it.
fixes everything.
That's all that matters.
You know, bubble gum and fucking duct tape.
Can't duck the bucket.
Fucking zip ties.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So I'm getting all suited and booted. Oh, and so out of the blue and punch in the face. I lost an eardrum. Ah. So, anyways, we turn around and I'm getting ready to leave, and those dudes come pulling in. So I bone over there real quick and go, "Oh, you guys ready to go now or what?" And three of them pull over and he goes, "Fuck this fag, we're out." And I go, "Well, fuel, let's go, man." So we fuel up and whoa, we take off. And I don't know, we're running 105, between 120, 105, just bouncing all over the place a little bit. We'd slow down to
Allegedly.
We'd slow down a little under. No, I don't give a shit. I don't I mean,
Statute of limitations is expired.
Yeah, totally.
the Iowa State Patrol is, still looking for me, and I should surely have some sort of statute of limitations.
That deserves a plaque.
So, anyways, we take off. We jam from where we were at right there in Iowa. Next stop was Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We pull in there. Fuel. I go, we're out. Let's go. We fuel. We take off. We're flying. We get to, I want to say, just outside of Chamberlain where the river runs through the center of the state. Fuel up there. And I go, hey, man, the next stop is our turnaround point. So I'm throwing a 6-pack in the bag, and we'll cheers at our turnaround point, and then we'll roll back into town, and we'll smash beers at the bar, and then fucking motor home. And the guys are like, fuck yeah, let's do it. So, throw it in the bag, we take off. Well, I'm feeling frisky, and it's dark, and I'm just walking. I'm like, fuck it, let's go. So I just start putting the hammer down. I got a little wind in my back, all of a sudden, fucking construction zone. But it S-curved me down through the fucking median and into oncoming traffic.
Oh, shit.
On a lower Softail. So this was interesting. So the only
Sound like 99 problems.
So fuck lifting. So just whoosh, down through the bottom, down through that center median, kind of bounce off a cone and keep going.
When in doubt, throttle out.
That's it. Next thing I know,
Yeah,
we're getting ready to
totally.
veer back over, and I see that motherfucker had left like 3 hours before us,
And you got him.
before the midway point.
Wow.
Only I like spaghettied him because where he was and where I had to be, I had to like go through both lanes to make the swing just right to go down through there because it's only like 35. I'm running 90.
Dang,
And so I go flying down through there. The funny thing is when we got to the turnaround point, we're all high fiving and woohooing, and it's dark as shit. It's eerie. There's no lights at all besides off our motorcycle because the turnaround point, there ain't a stoplight to be seen. I mean, it's blacker Pizza Kid up there. and so anyways,
Oh man.
we're fucking hanging out there, And anybody knows me, dude. I am not racist at all. That's what makes this shit so fucking funny, right? Yeah, sorry, sorry I had to use it. Yeah. That guy was dark, yeah. That's what it is. Reality's reality. Live with it. So,
Oh man.
fucking true. So, anyways, we leave there, and now, mind you, dude, cell phones were a thing, but not like a thing they are today.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we didn't need them to fucking coexist. Like, we could give a shit. We could throw them in the fucking trash. So, you know what I do? I leave a glow stick tied to a fucking fence post with a note on that motherfucker for the other guys when they got there to tell them what bar we're going to.
Nice.
They pulled up. They saw this thing, and they're like, what the fuck? We walk over. It looks like a dildo swinging in the air. And they come over, and they pull us up, and they read my little note, and they're singing out here, bikes pull in. They're like, wow. So they pull in, we smash some beers.
How long had you been there waiting
Josh
for
left us
him?
a text message.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. The early day text messages,
But how long were you at the bar before they actually showed up?
At least 30 minutes.
Okay.
They were behind us.
They were mobbing pretty good too.
They were starting to get going a little bit more. But by that time, though, I'd already wasted an hour.
Liquid courage.
Yeah.
I'd already wasted an hour, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was checking the weather. Now, mind you, anybody went riding in the Midwest in October?
I was in
I'm
September.
sure it's raining.
Fucking.
It ain't raining,
But it's cold.
but it's colder than a witch's tit in a brass fucking bra, okay? Okay, it's cold in her well digger's ass. And so we're doing this shit at night. I got no helmet on. So when we're getting ready to leave, I start pounding shots and ask for a hot toddy. I fucking pound that motherfucker. We're gone. Well, I start sobering up because I can feel my fingers at some point, and we're getting ready to hit our next gas stop on the way back. I pull in there. It's 26 fucking degrees, and I'm running 105.
Damn.
I mean,
Oh yeah. So with wind chill, it was fucking ridiculous.
It's cold.
Yeah.
That was and so I never was so happy when the sun started coming up. It felt like a microwave warming me up. And I actually witnessed a guy fall asleep riding that day. I got up beside him and bumped him a little bit into the rumble bar and woke him up.
No shit.
Yeah. I get beside him. He's fucking just riding, passed out. Just fucking passed out riding.
You literally
so you
saved that
fucking
dude's
saved his life.
life, bro. No doubt.
Well, so I pull up and I just grab his handlebar and we're kind of going together side by side. And I go, he wakes up, hey buddy, and I get over and away we went. Like it was nothing, And,
Well, it's a good thing he didn't fucking go, oh shit! He fucking woke up.
Then we would have bounced together, dude. I mean, we just would have rolled together, whatever,
Good shit.
I mean, dude, I've done shit like that in the past where I've literally tied my battery to my buddy's battery that close, riding all the fucking way home.
No
To
shit.
keep his battery charged while we're cruising.
It's good shit.
I mean,
Talk about biker shit right there. That's some biker shit.
oh yeah, dude. I mean, everybody else just gives up. Fuck all that.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's
Adapt, improvise,
Yeah.
and overcome.
totally. That's one of the things. One of the reasons why I go to your shop, because not only you're a trustworthy guy, but you've been around the block like a used whore. You know what I'm saying? You've been around the block a few times.
So the way
So,
I see
you
it,
know.
man, is there's guys that have gone to school to learn some shit, right? And I'm sure everybody's gone to school.
In one form or another, right?
Yeah.
To learn shit. And then there's other guys that just fucking live the life. And they use their experiences to fucking build bikes and to build motors. And they know what works and what doesn't work because they've fucking done it. They've been there. They've blown up motors. They know that if you do this shit, you're gonna fucking blow your shit because I've done it. You know, and that's what I think separates you guys from the rest of the pack.
Well,
is-
It's funny you say that because I'm sorry. Finish.
It's one of those things like Noso. We fucking ridden through hell and back, right?
Yeah.
So I know the fucking guy can fucking ride, and I know he's about riding. It's no bullshit. And then I've heard all the fucking stories about you, and some of them you're sitting there like, what the fuck? He did what?
I know.
He jumped over what? What the fuck? Right? Like you hear these stories and you're like, yeah, that makes fucking sense because of the shit that you build and the way you build things and the way you describe things. When I've come to you and I've talked to you and you're like, okay, so what are you looking at doing? Right? And my answer's always been the same. I want my fucking shit to be reliable. I'll worry about the pretty later. Right? I want my shit to run good, run hard, run fast, be reliable. If it looks like shit, I really don't care. The pretty comes later. I want it to fucking run right?
Yeah.
And I think that's why we get along so well because you've been like, all right then. Like that's as it should be. Who gives a fuck about a pretty paint job if you're broken down on the side of the fucking freeway?
Totally.
You know what I mean? I'd rather my bike somebody go, dude, that's an ugly fucking bike. Yeah, but the bitch went across the country and back.
Yeah.
What has your bike done?
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
So,
that's why that's why I go. I don't take my bike anywhere else other than Josh's shop because it's reliable, it's trustworthy. I know work's gonna get done on it.
yeah.
And by the way, my bike in Arizona Bike Week, huge props. We got huge props. I love the color scheme and all that. So I'm really happy with the work, dude. I've never had issues.
And
Oh,
it's,
well, with
Besides
the
the
lighting,
battery.
the battery and then the lighting, but that's not your guys' fault. Shit happens, dude. And
We didn't manufacture the battery or the lights.
yeah,
You
so
know
it
what's
happens.
funny
Dude.
about the battery thing? When I got my brand new 01 night train, third day, I'm walking out of the shop to ride it home. Now, mind you, I got it in March, so I was riding in the fucking snow. I didn't give a shit. You know, it's brand new to me. You know, with my brand new.
Brand new
first-
up right.
Oh, yeah, you gotta ride it, dude.
Ride it everywhere, and so anyways, I want to say the third day, something like that. Come out, start it, lights turn on, hit the button, deader than a fucking doornail. So I go run back inside the shop. My battery gave up in 3 days. You know, there is no rhyme or reason sometimes to shit. You know, and unfortunately, everyone, especially nowadays, for whatever reason, is so hung up on needing to have a reason for things
Yeah.
when there's just certain
Yeah,
things
there's
that
just
you can't
stuff you get-
explain. It's just what it is. You know what I mean? Like, and for some reason, people struggle with that idea. You know, I mean, they need this. I don't know, something to blame or
Yeah.
something to yell
Yeah.
at or
Well,
whatever.
there's a
you know?
reason why there's gremlin bells.
Well, yeah, they
You know what I'm
attract
saying?
shit to me, so I don't think those
Yeah.
motherfuckers
So
off
fucking
shit.
so gremlin bells are there because they say the fucking road gremlins jump on and start loosening shit on your fucking bike, right?
Sure.
Well, that's in my opinion, that's the story that was made up because you just can't explain why shit happens sometimes.
Yeah.
So you got to fucking come up with something
Oh, yeah.
to somehow rationalize
Yeah.
why that fucking piece of shit came apart on you while you were fucking riding.
Yeah, I
It
talked
is
to
what
a
it
man.
is.
If I bought him a gremlin bell, he'd look me straight in the eye as he threw it in the trash.
So you don't believe in that shit.
Not at all. And the other reason I hate them, great rattles. And if you know me, and Steven does, one thing I cannot handle is a rattle.
The one in your truck that plagued you for like 4 months.
Until I finally found that son of a bitch, though. I tore the whole fucker apart, but I found it. I was using pieces of folded paper.
We
wedges,
get the truck
shit.
to go to lunch and he's going, "Do you hear that? You hear it? I hear it. You hear it? You hear it? Dude, it's driving me nuts."
Well,
That's fucking great.
but if it's rattling, it means it's loose. And if it's loose, it's gonna break. And if it's gonna break, it's gonna hit my fucking wallet. So the sooner I find it, the faster
Yeah,
the motherfucker
totally.
fixed.
Hey,
You know?
Frank, I didn't tell you. So I'm getting ready to go to Arizona Bike Week. Beast is waiting for me. He just shows up. I go to turn the bike on, and it's completely fucking dead, dude.
No
And-
shit.
I'm not gonna lie. My immediate response was panic because I was like, "Oh fuck! Like we're supposed to be on the road."
Mind you,
I call no
the
so.
bike had been sitting at our shop for 2 weeks. Never touched it. We were just getting paint shit done and powder coating done. So it's just sitting there. We're not touching it until we have all the parts back, so we put
Right.
it back together. We pulled the shop, put it back together. I turned the bike on to test the lights, because we replaced the lights. I make sure everything's good. Lights turn on, everything's good. I pull it outside, get it all cleaned up and wiped down. I literally start the bike, get on it, and ride it here. Now, you know that's 15, 20
Yeah,
miles.
so it fucking started for.
I rode it right here the very next morning.
It's dead.
And I'm looking at gauges on the way here because I'm about to drop off the bike and make sure everything's good. He's about to go to Arizona. Next morning it's dead. One of those things with a battery, you just can't explain it. So it's probably a bad cell in the battery. And so he'll
So
tell
it
you what happened.
gave you everything it had on that last ride here.
On that last ride
That
here.
was it.
Well, dude, then this jackass goes, "Did you leave it on last night?" No, motherfucker, I didn't leave it on. I
It's
freaking.
a fair question.
It's
But
not.
the fucking thing started yesterday.
Well,
You fucking rode
the
it
reason
here.
I asked
It's a fair
is-
fucking
It's because
question.
if you look at his reel, he was in the garage later that night doing another video, panoramicing around his bike and rubbing his bike and patting the seat and getting it ready to go. And I'm wondering, did you have the key on? Did you have the stereo playing? What did you
I
do?
did not have the bike on. Okay.
He calls
So
me.
I'm
The
just
first thing I
saying.
tell him, turn the bike on. Okay. What's your volt gauge say? Less than 8. I said, okay, your battery's toast. Take the one out of the other bike.
Okay. To back up a little bit.
And then you did that, and you had
Back
any
up.
fucking issues.
Well, I had the Batmo Glide there, and I was already thinking about that,
Yeah.
like changing the battery out. And then he had mentioned too. I was like, hey, you know what? I got the Batmo Glide for a reason. That's the second time that bike has saved my ass.
The fun
dude.
part is I can hear Beast in the background. You ask Beast, you know how to change the battery? Right? I even said, like, yeah, Beast can change the battery. All you need is a 10 millimeter and a half inch. I've been socking
yeah.
a 10 millimeter socket. You're good to go.
Okay,
Did you
I'm-
fucking ask somebody, do you know how to change a
I
fucking
totally
battery?
did. Hey, I'm gonna look straight in the camera right now and say, hey, look, I don't work on my own shit.
And that's a
Okay,
good thing.
I don't even wash my bike if I don't have to. Okay, I hire somebody to do it, or I'll be like, hey, no soul, I need your help. So yeah, I don't
You know what,
work
though?
on my bike.
You know
So,
what, though?
just saying.
You know what though? That leads us into a topic of where mechanics nowadays are very they're under respected, I should call it. possibly.
Underappreciated.
Well, yeah, but there's no respect to them for a lot of people because they feel when people feel they can do it better or whatever, and instead of being honest with people, they should just tell them, listen, I can't afford to pay somebody else, so I try to teach myself how to do it.
Yeah.
But instead, they want to have that thing about them to where they need that justification, like I'm Billy Badass because I work on my stuff. Okay, well that's great, you work on your stuff, but the problem is that experience comes from time.
Yeah.
We all have walks of life that we do. You have your, what you do for a living. Tank has what he does for a living. Steven's learning a new career right now. Which, by the way, riding a motorcycle teaches you more about how to work on them every day.
Well, I'm confused. You told me you were stripping, dude. What the fuck? I thought.
Only on Tuesday.
No,
Okay.
that's the championship on the weekends. Okay, that's just side money. You know what I mean?
That's a side hustle.
Yeah, championship, man.
Tuesday night is ladies' night.
That's it. That's it. You should see this guy all baby oiled up. That's how they never get a hold of him.
I have.
You can't see.
Who do
if
you
you're
think's
not
the
wearing
big spoon when we're together,
Yeah,
bro?
but if you're not wearing sunglasses, you'll be blind. So.
Well, that be slippery as shit. So,
That's good shit.
these women even tried to wear Velcro gloves to do this.
Oh,
You know?
this guy, dude.
No, the truth is that for whatever reason, I've seen a huge shift in people over the last few years where one, for whatever reason, being wrong is difficult for them to even say. Which in fact I think makes you wiser to admit fault than not.
How the
And
fuck are you going to learn from something if you don't admit that you were wrong first?
100%. Because at the end of the day, you don't know shit unless you have failure. No one, you can be the best at whatever you do, but they're the best because of what they failed at but grew from it.
Exactly.
So don't be naive, right? YouTube has been a great thing for a lot of people, but it's also been bad in another sense because you don't know what you're getting your education from, if it's good or bad.
Right.
You know, they just have this thing that shows, hey, learn how to do whatever, right? And we'll just say jizz mopping.
That's my favorites. Okay. Where's your fucking mind at right now, John?
You know, I wanted to learn how to jizz mop and grab, you know, properly just in case I needed an extra job, you know. So I figured YouTube
Do you
would
go in
teach
circles? Do you go front to back?
Exactly.
I prefer to be the fluffer.
Oh,
You know,
Is it mop on, mop off?
a little left, a little right, a little circular action. Do you work in squares? You know. But bottom line is that they have this education for everything, you know, and you don't really truly know who you're getting your education from, right? And I guess the thing I guess I'm trying to say is that my hat's off to anybody that wants to try to better themselves and learn something or whatever, but don't disrespect people that do it for a living while you're doing it. Like, that's the part that I don't get. You know, I mean, if somebody called me and asked me a question and said, hey, I was watching this on YouTube and I'm questioning, is this correct? If they come to me properly, I should say, I'll answer that question all day long, no problem. But what I think is funny is when they call you, you can hear it in their voice and how they're talking, and then you give them an answer, and then they want to argue with you.
Yeah, well, that's not what YouTube said.
I know, and you're just like, well, they probably did. You're just not understanding either the terminology or what they're doing.
Well, and
Or their steps missed.
And beyond that, you know, the other side of that is YouTube is showing you, especially in today's world, let's build a hole in top end of a motor. Let's put a 124 kit on your motor. The video's a half hour long.
Yeah, it's possible.
For a 7-hour job.
Yeah.
It's a 7-hour job.
And
from start
another
to
thing,
finish.
not only that though, but not everybody can be a teacher. Okay? So when this person that's explaining this to you on YouTube is actually doing it, they may be doing a lot more than what they're saying.
Correct.
Right?
That's exactly what that adds to what he's saying.
Yeah, and you're
What
fucking-
did it leave out?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
key points that, hey, you need to watch this because this happens a lot.
Yep.
You need to watch and
even-
measure this and make sure this is correct
And
before you
you-
just go throwing it back
Right.
together.
You could be
They'll tell
watching
you
this fucking video, right? You could be watching this video. The guy has his thumb in a certain place because he's holding something that needs to be held while you're fucking
But he
torquing
didn't say
something
it.
down, but he didn't say it. So you're like, oh, okay, I just fucking install that shit. And when you start torquing some shit, some other shit flies off because your thumb wasn't in the right place because the fucking guy isn't a teacher and he didn't tell you, make sure you hold this while you're doing this kind of shit, right? So you never know what you're missing when you're watching those shows. And it goes back to, like, when we were talking about who we're going to take our bikes to, right? And in the biker community, you get attached to your mechanic. The guy who works on your fucking bike is the guy who works on your fucking bike. And that's that. There's no way around that, right? And that's how you know where somebody like yourself is a badass. Because you got guys sending you shit from not only all over the fucking country, but all over the fucking world to fucking build, right? So to break through that fucking barrier, because that's what we're lucky, because you're here.
Yeah.
You're right here by us. So the same guy that is the guy that's only going to work on our bike is the same guy that we would be fucking sending our shit if you live somewhere else, the way other people do. We got lucky, but for you to break through and have people sending you shit from all over the country, all over the world to work on and build, that says a lot about your craftsmanship.
It's very humbling, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, there's been times where people have told me about one of my wife's parents' friends was in North Carolina a handful of years ago. She goes walking through this bar, and here's 4 dudes wearing my apparel and sitting at the bar drinking, you know, and you know, we've had, you know, groups of people where I did something for somebody or, you know, got referred, because it's pretty neat. Not only do I get customers that refer us, but we have companies that refer us, which is even crazier to me because, you know, I mean, they could refer hundreds of shops, and we get referrals from S&S to, you know, a bunch of different companies for that matter, you know, I mean, and it's humbling. It's awesome, to be honest with you. And you know, we've had this one group in New York had 76 bikes at once on a shipping truck. You know, and we did them all, and then turned around and shipped them right back. You know, and in case in point, I picked up a bike in Arizona Bike Week last weekend from one of my good friends from Nebraska. I've only ever built his whole family's motorcycles, and they literally drive them to me or meet me somewhere, and I do them and then meet them back. And yeah, it happens all the time. And you know, we take for granted Southern Californians, not just Southern California, Californians take so much shit for granted. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Because of how quick and easy everything's so accessible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, they're looking for that instant cart on everything. And I wish that they could go live somewhere else for a little while and walk in other people's shoes and realize that waiting's not as big a deal as they want to make it out to be.
Right.
I mean, some of these guys, they need more than one hobby because they lose their fucking mind if they can't go riding here or there, you know, and then they'll create so much pressure with the guy working on the stuff that he's set up to fail. Because now that guy's panicking because this guy's over here stressing him the fuck out, you know, and so you end up, your odds of making a mistake is high at that point.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, it's so funny to me how so many people will ask you when you're going to be finished before you told them you're going to be finished.
Right.
Like, it sometimes is impossible to give you, we will be finished at 3 o'clock on this day, and this day, and that day, and this day, and this 20 minutes beforehand, and we'll be ready. Like, it's not sometimes that simple because we don't always just get to do tires and oil changes.
Right.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
case in point, look at what I worked on today. I did the bars last week, I wired them. And then we put on the risers today to switch from a T-bar setup over to an actual ape hanger setup.
Yeah.
The bars aren't much taller. The problem is ape hangers are wider. I'm literally 1.5 to 2 inches short on each cable, brake line and the clutch line. So now we have to order cables because it's just that little bit short.
Yeah. And it makes
But
a
you
huge
don't know.
fucking difference.
You don't know until you put it on. You're like, hey, it might fit. You put the bars on and go, nope, I need 2 more inches.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, we all
Well,
need
that,
2 more
but-
inches at a
like-
time or time. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like today.
I don't know what
I
you're
like
talking
the two
about,
inches.
bro.
Like, I'm not going to mention any names, so nobody else knew.
So if we had told the guy it'll be done on Monday, we now lied.
Yeah.
Because we think it's going to fit. Until I put those risers on and put the bar on and nope, it doesn't fit. Now I have to order these. I have to measure for cables and get the right set of cables, which actually ended up being 4 inches longer on the clutch side and only 2 on the brake side. But you don't
But
know.
shit happens,
You don't
dude.
know.
Shit happens. And then you got the guy calling you saying, I used to work at a body shop. And I know how to fucking get this shit
Well,
done. This
so-
should have been done a lot. Shut the
Well,
fuck
and then
up.
the other side of that, okay? So we do this all the time. We'll put bars on, and then we measure for cables. We actually measure what are we going to put a 30-degree angle on the actual cable that goes off the clutch, right? Or are we going straight off it? Are we going at 90-degree? We measure all that, so it's an exact fit. But you can go online all day long to all these sites, and they tell you, oh, you put a 16-inch ape hanger on this
It'll
line.
fit.
Here's the extension kit
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
What ape hanger? Every angle on these bars is different. Factory 47 or all these different brands, DNA, Monster bars, they all have different angles. They all have different drop angles.
Or else, what would be the fucking point
In
of them
different
making
widths.
their own bars?
Correct.
If they're all exactly the same.
Right.
It makes no sense. Right?
So until we put the bar on, we don't know exactly what length of cable we actually need. Because the difference of 2 inches is a giant hoop that's going right across your screen on a roadway. It's going right across and it's right in the viewpoint because it's 2 inches too long because it was meant to fit an 18-inch or a 16-inch.
Well,
it wasn't exact to it.
To kind of comment on something that Josh said recently. I remember meeting you for the first time. I started becoming friends with Noso. We're in the same club, so I'd always heard him talk about you. And so when I started taking my bike to you, I'd like to think that I wasn't that guy that was kind of hounding you. I think there's a few miscommunications when I first started taking my bike to you, and then you and I started building a friendship and kind of keeping me informed on how you do things. And I'd bug Noso on occasion, and he'd kind of give me an update, and then I just started becoming friends with you, and I learned how you operated. So when I take my bike to you, I have the utmost confidence that it's going to be handled. And do I get a little anxiety? Yeah, because I'm that guy. I want to fucking ride, but I know that it's not going to help by calling you and be like, "Hey, was my bike ready yet?" I've learned to acquire patience, and I know when I get it, everything's going to be fucking handled. So
Well,
that's why I take my bike to you. I don't take it anywhere fucking else.
I guess the way that I look at it is that I one time took my dually all the way to Texas to get it tuned, and I left it there 6 months.
When
because-
dualies get tuned,
Well, mine do, because my truck makes over 1,000
He
horsepower.
has a diesel that makes over 1,000 horsepower.
damn.
And
I've seen it sitting in his house.
I mean, it'll leave that Mustang out front for lunch.
Hey,
What?
hey.
Dr. Shit on the shelf.
Hey.
Some cookie cutter Mustang he's got out front.
Well, so the last time I drove it,
Leave the load on the front now.
I just mess with you, dude.
the last time I was driving it, I was coming.
Sorry, Frank, but it is a win.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
Dude, I outran cars pulling trailers that thing. Seriously,
With his fifth wheel behind, or his 30-foot toy hauler behind him.
it's fast.
And you're smoking cars.
It's smoking cars.
Not with the toy hauler, but I've done it with my
With
enclosed
the
trailer.
enclosed trailer. That's
There's
still
one-
28 feet.
There's one night a guy wanted to race me, and the only time I got beat pulling the trailer is when the hitch broke.
Wow.
The hitch broke, the trailer fell on the ground, and I was still dragging it by the chains. So I got stopped, and I had to, I don't know, get a little creative in my engineering to get it all back together. But I got it home with bubble gum and duct tape, basically. But I got it home.
That's
But,
awesome.
Zip ties.
I think it's just how, I used to get my ass beat for whining when I was a child. And as a grown man, I fucking cannot stand grown men that whine.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I get a lot of. And I have to get it out of my head sometimes because I'll listen to people. And they'll talk like they're whining. They're 100%
Yeah.
whining. And instead of getting off the phone and getting the person back to work and letting them get back to work, they want to tell you all the reasons of why they're upset. So you sit there and listen to them, and then the one I love the most, well, I've been making payments. Well, you would have been making fucking payments whether it's sitting in your goddamn garage or here.
Yeah.
I
Wait,
make
what do you
insurance
mean?
payments.
You mean making payments on the bike payment?
But they can't
Yeah.
ride.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
and the thing
And
is,
this is the shit they'll tell you, and it doesn't speed me up. I'm more frustrated by the end of it all, and I want them to have their bike back too. It's not like I'm holding the fucking
Yeah, because
thing
then you
hostage.
get paid.
yeah.
You get paid when
Well,
you.
this is why, as a biker, people, you have more than one fucking bike.
Well, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you always have your other bike. Like mine is it's a 1999 Heritage Springer that I call 99
99
Problems.
problems.
Right? Now that bitch has been through hell and back with me.
Yeah.
And when I don't have my road glide, that's what I ride. That's
You
what I
know,
do.
that's
Right?
Your back.
But when we've had our conversations and I've dropped my bike off for any reason, when I got in my accident or whatever, one of the questions that you always ask is there anything that you need it back for? Like, is there anything coming up that I need to know
Is
about?
there a deadline
Because
that I've hit?
if I can make that deadline, I'll try to do it for you, right? So if something's like important, a long ride or something going on, out of state ride in 2 or 3 months, I'll just tell you, hey, in fucking 3 months from now, there's this ride. If we can hit that, that'd be fucking great.
Yeah.
But between now and then, I'm not gonna fucking bother you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, see, that's why I told him I was going to Arizona Bike Week, and I took my bike to him. First week of April or no, end of March or something, and left it there. And I rode the Batmo Glide, which is cool, but it's so basic. It's like a basic bitch. It's like not the same, but
It's
it's just
stock.
Yeah.
it's we'll get it there. But again, I'm taking that bike to you because
Well,
eventually I got to get that shit done.
Earlier,
So,
back to the whole truck thing. My point to that is that that guy took 3 or 4 extra months to do what I needed done because the man was busy. I went to him because he's good at what he does, and people that are good with what they do aren't always the best time organizers.
mm.
You can't be great at everything. It's impossible.
What?
I know.
No one ever told me that because I'm great at
That would have been a
everything.
perfect fucking little.
Okay, so
Hold on, I got a good one. I just found it. Oh shit, it messed up.
okay, well,
Damn it.
There we go. I'm driving at the wheel again. So
Hey, you
can't
can't
be
be
good
good
at
at
everything.
everything.
that's what I'm talking about. And
Damn it.
I can appreciate people loving their motorcycle because
I got it.
but
I got it.
but so I don't want to sound like it's just one side of the road because without these guys going out and riding and doing what they're doing, we wouldn't have a job.
Right.
So it's a full circle of life. I'd watch fucking Lion King too, right? So, at the end of the day, it's a big circle of life. But I feel like the mechanics a lot of times, it's always under the gun, like everything. And after a while, you just want to be able to go into work and work at a good pace, get it done, and then next the job. And it's never that relaxed because
Yeah.
we're not doing just one thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't as easy as like work, painting a car. You get some parts, you paint it, and put it back together. Not that that's easy, so I don't want to discredit that man's job. But my point is with a motorcycle, there's always so much shit going on. Because it never ceases to amaze me how many times it'll show up and the guy will call you and say, I just want this done. And then when it gets there, I want this, and this done.
Yep.
Okay, we'll get it done. And then they want to know why it took you longer.
But not only that though. So if you buy a fucking stock Harley and you want to live your life on a stock Harley,
Then live your life.
go get your fucking oil changes at the Harley dealership. You're gonna
Whoa,
be just
whoa,
fine.
whoa! Who
Hold
the
on,
fuck
hold
wants
on.
to live in
You're
a stock Harley?
You're never gonna have any issues. Go get your fucking oil change at the Harley dealership. They'll get you in and out. You'll be good to go. But if you want to start modifying your bike like we all fucking do,
100%.
you're gonna start putting parts on there that, oh, this looks cool, that looks cool, or this is that, or this is that. And then when those bikes come to you and they're like, hey, I just want this done, and you're like, yeah, but you understand with this part or that part, that might not work, and you might have to change this or that because you've already fucking changed all this other shit that now you have to work around because it's not the way Harley built the fucking thing, right? Because we all want to change shit.
Yeah.
So I could come and tell you, hey, I want this cam, and you're like, well, that cam and those pipes, probably not the right combination, You might want to change this, you might want to change that, or you might want to do this. So there's always going to be something that you're going to have to work around or explain to the person bringing the bike in that they might not have thought of because they're not the guy building these fucking motors. They're not the guy who sees this day in and day out and knows that this doesn't work with that.
Well,
But we can make it happen if we just do this or that, right?
that's why I try to ask questions with people a lot because, they only get one part of the picture when they're online. And they're, the biggest thing, and I hate how the engine side of the M8 world went. It's like going to a fancy restaurant. Everything's fucking a la carte. Everything. So I don't know how many times people call me up, I want that 120, 130, whatever kit, right?
$1,400.
And they're like, exactly. Well, that kit, with everything's like over $3,000, right? But they think it's that and labor. And when you tell them it's going to be about $14,000 by the time you're done, they're like shitting bricks, and they're like, how? So you send them a list of parts, you tell them everything, which nowadays I won't even send you part numbers. I love those guys because they want to go buy their parts somewhere else and bring them to you. And the whole time I'm like, guys, we have to make a living. If you like what we do for you, support us. support your small business. You know, I mean, I wish to God half people could go live in a small community to see how important small business truly is. They, there again, we're back to taking everything for granted because we have Amazon, we have all these things that are just at your door in days or hours. And small business doesn't work like that. The one, they don't have the personnel, they don't have this, they don't have that.
I have the space to store and have an inventory.
But not only that, though, if you start giving them fucking part numbers and then they go buy some fucking random bullshit fucking part that's supposed to work and it's subpar to what you build and you put it in this motor and that fucking part fails, now guess what? Josh Rundlett's motor fucking
You just don't do it.
we
broke
don't
down,
do it anymore.
right?
You know, like, I mean, most of these companies now, if you go to their shop and you didn't buy the part from them, they won't install it. You know, I mean,
because your name's going out behind it.
it
You know,
is.
your name's going out behind that build or that
Well,
whatever.
it's no different than the camshaft stuff, right? Everybody goes online and they have no
does that. This camshaft does that.
they have no reason of why they want the part besides it's popular online. You know, like everybody loves to watch George Bryce. George Bryce is a nice man. Been in the industry for a long time. He's got parts like everyone else. The thing is that do you really know if his component is going to work for you and your writing style? Do you ask yourself those questions?
What are you trying to do with it?
You're only seeing a small piece of the puzzle. No different than what exhaust you're choosing to God knows what. I mean, there's, you know, and this comes back to the realization of what you talked about before, Tink, where you're like, I stay with one guy so I don't bounce around.
Yeah, totally.
If you bounce around, all you're going to end up is come back full circle, more confused than what you started with, because in this industry, there's more than one way to skin a cat, right? So at the end of the day, you're going to get a lot of different opinions from different people. The problem is, can you articulate what they told you 100% and understand what they told you 100%, or are you just going to more confused? So that at that point, you need to work with somebody you trust that's going to give you what you're looking for at the end of the day, and that person should take time to educate you at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, so that's our job. Our job is to educate people and do the best that we can do for them, and also know that we try to live our lives with integrity just as well. So, I mean, if there's a problem, you take care of it. You know, I mean, you know, I don't know how many times, people will ask you, well, what's your warranty? I don't have one. I mean, if it broke and it broke in a reasonable time, then we'll work it out. You know, I mean, if the part's out of warranty, screw it. You buy the part, we'll take care of the labor. We'll help you out. You know what I mean? Like, we've had customers, I don't know how many times, that have had bad things happen to them. But they've done business with us, so we'll help them out.
Okay, so I can speak on this from experience. Okay, so I named my bikes. One of my bikes is named Crystal Blue Persuasion.
Okay.
Okay, so I took the bike to you, and we did some like liner on the inside of the tank, and we did some braided hoses, and we did some other shit, right?
Yeah, years
And
ago.
years ago, yeah. And I remember I showed up to pick it up, and you're like, "Hey, I got to show you something." Something got dropped here, and there's like this little fucking tiny chip that I probably wouldn't even have fucking noticed if you hadn't mentioned it. But you told me about it. You're like, "Look, this happened. I can send it out. My painter can match it." I'm like, "Bro, I'm gonna ride the shit out of this bike. I'm probably gonna get 10 times those fucking chips on this thing. I'm not worried about it." But the fact that you were upfront about it, and you came up and told me, "Hey, look, this happened, and I'm willing to fix it, and I'll send it out," and I'm like, no, there's no fucking need for that. You know? You did the work that we agreed on. It's done. Thank you for letting me know about that tiny little fucking chip that probably would have never noticed. I appreciate it. And I'm going to go ride the fuck out of this thing and go put 10 more fucking chips in this thing. Don't worry about it. But that's the kind of professionalism that you get when you deal with people like you in this industry.
Well, with
And
that,
it's not fucking hidden or, they're not trying to hear. Let's get him the fuck out of here before he notices the chip and shit.
yeah, with
Right?
that though is it's I can kind of correlate this with dating, right? So If you're out, I'm 50-year-old man right
Where
now.
are we going with this right
I'm
now?
about to tell you,
I
mofos,
wasn't
okay?
going that route, Josh.
I'm about to tell you guys, okay?
If you ask me, I'm
Listen.
JT is trying to we don't know where we're
I'm
going.
not a hard no there.
Hey, I can assure you I am going somewhere with this, okay? So I'm dating, right? And every time you meet somebody new, you're literally giving them your resume again. It's like, you're breaking it, okay, what's your favorite color? Okay, same shit, right? It's just like mechanics. Like, if you keep jumping around and looking for like the best price, this guy over here is gonna save you $200, and then you have to give the little spiel to him. Okay, now you're mad because he fucked your shit up. Now you got to go over here, and you're dating this guy now because you're trying to figure out, okay, is he gonna take care of your shit? Okay, he fucks up your shit. Now you're going to this person. It's like, that's why I am very, when it comes to my bike, dude, I'm
Yeah.
hands
And
down
it's-
very loyal. I stay with one person.
Exactly. I get what you're saying because trust brings loyalty,
Yes.
right? And if I could trust you, like that right there told me everything I needed to know about you.
Sure.
Right? That
Yeah.
one interaction told me everything I needed to know about you, that I can trust you 100% with my bike, with what you tell me I need for my bike, with what's not going to kill me when I'm riding my bike, right? So that's going to bring loyalty for me
Totally.
to you as far as you're the guy that's going to work on my bike, or you're the guy that's going to touch my bike, period.
One
You and
example-
Noso, obviously, because I know this fucking guy and I trust this guy.
Well, example of
Dude.
that, the last time we had JT's bike. He's going to Arizona biking. It's a 900-mile round trip. We know this. He came in and he was getting exhaust recoated. He was getting some powder coat done. That was it. What did we notice? The front wheel, his front tire, literally is chopped to shit. This thing ain't round. It's bad, right?
It got
We
pitted
didn't
from
know until we
Sturgis.
pulled the fender off. We pulled the fender off. We're like, because we're getting the fender repainted. And I'm looking at this thing. I'm going, holy crap! And he goes, holy crap! How many miles are on this tire? And well, I ride with JT a lot, so I'm sitting there thinking, the last time we did tires is when he went to Sturgis, but he didn't do his front. He did his rear.
Mhm.
This tire has 10,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
Literally, it is chopped. It is going like this around the tire. So we put a new tire on.
Was it as bad as mine when I came back from my cross country?
That, I don't know what was up with that tire, dude. That was the one. So you weren't even there. That was when I called you and said, hey, can I bring Frank's bike up and change his tire real quick? Dude, there was literally chunks missing out of the
That's
tire.
it's coming apart.
Full on chunks. And you can see it's a brand new tire.
Yeah.
It's like a
I
brand
bought
new
a brand new tire before we left.
With chunks missing out, and you can see straight to the core. Just chunks flying out of the tire. I don't know what it was.
Well, I
with the
put
tire.
10,000 miles on my bike, going there and back.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, I rode to fucking Florida, then down Florida, then up to Washington, D.C., then to New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and all the way back across the country. I put 10,000 miles on my shit. It was
What's
ridiculous.
crazy about that? You didn't have any bike issues, bro. Like,
Fuck
your
no.
your shit handled fucking superbly, bro.
And there's a reason for that. Me sitting right fucking there.
Hell yeah,
You
dude.
know?
Hell yeah, dude.
I don't know, man, like, I don't know, sometimes you guys make me sound like I walk on water, but I really don't. I mean, we're still human. We all make mistakes here, guys, So,
No, but bro, we appreciate it.
no,
Like,
and, you know,
do you
and
know
I-
how fucking badass it is to be able to do that and go across country and come back?
I know.
And literally, the only issues I had is like a little piece of fucking plastic broke on my fucking thing, but
Yeah.
okay, what the fuck does that have to do with anything, right?
Yeah.
And I think I lost a bolt off of my fucking license plate or some shit. Like, that was it. Those were my fucking issues, and I rode across the fucking country and back.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Yes.
You know?
Technically,
I
across
fully-
the country is only 3,000 miles, so you did that 3 times.
Oh yeah, and then
10,000
some.
miles,
And
yeah.
because I would ride to states and then ride with some brothers there, and then ride to another state and then go do some rides over there. And then I wanted to go fucking sightseeing, so I do a detour that fucking route, where 300 miles that way when I should have been going that way, and then I got to turn around and retrace those 300 miles.
Mhm.
So I got to work on a guy's motorcycle one time. Actually, I worked on it a lot, and bike had 110,000 on it, and he decides he's going to break the Guinness Book of World Record of how many miles a man can ride in 30 days.
Oh shit!
Now, just take a stab in the dark of how many miles you think that number would be.
30 days?
With 30 days without looking at your
I don't
phone.
know, man.
So
I
let's
can't even.
let's just say an average of 1,000 miles a day, 30,000 miles. That would be my guess.
He did 32,000 in 30 days.
Holy
Damn, Tank, you looked
shit.
this shit up before,
No,
didn't
bro,
you, dude?
No, you average, if you do an
Yeah.
iron butt ride every day
Yeah,
for a month, it's
30,000 miles.
So this guy went across the country like 18 times or whatever
Holy
it was,
shit.
you know, and he went from coast to coast and border to border and weaved the country and went here and went there, but he also had to maintain miles, which means he has to be on fast roads.
You gotta be on freeways. You gotta be on open roads.
This ain't something, but this guy also, and this is where you separate the men from the boys, is this guy right here. We actually added like a 5-gallon fuel tank to the back seat that was tied to his main tank. This guy would roll out 10 gallons at a time. So this man was riding,
on a fucking bomb.
600. No, well, yeah. That's
I mean,
questionable, really.
pretty much, dude.
That's questionable. I mean,
Not
that
the
guy
hit.
Hey, that John
Crazy,
Moonshine
dude.
saddlebags bomb you hit the ground, so I mean, come on, it's all relative. But I mean, we're talking this guy, and for the life of me, he was a college professor out of Creston, Iowa, and he did this when I lived in Iowa. So this has been so I've been here since '06. So I'm 18 years. I've been here in California. It's crazy when you say it that way. But
Yeah.
anyways, so in like 2002 or somewhere in that ballpark, he did this, and it was an Ultra that already had 100-some thousand on it.
And you put it
Crazy.
32, 34, is it?
They're like 32,000 or something like that. I'd have to look up the exact number, but it was over 30,000 miles.
That's badass.
And I mean, yeah, it was just crazy,
Well,
you know.
kudos to
Okay.
that guy because that's pretty sick.
Hey,
So-
it looks like Noso has to step outside for a minute.
Is that
So
any
good.
little boys here?
He's got to drain the little
Well,
thing. He's got to drain that
alcohol.
little thing, dude.
It goes right through you.
Well, hurry up, because we're about ready to wrap this up here,
Yep,
little
as soon as you
guy.
come back, we'll wrap it up because it's about that time, man. I want to thank you for coming out
Thanks for
and
having me.
talking to us, and this is what we do now. You see this shit. This is
Yeah.
kind of our little setup here, and we're hoping this will blow up, and we're putting it across different social media platforms coming up here shortly.
Yeah.
But we definitely wanted to get you on here and talk about all the stuff that you've done for us, and
I appreciate it.
and let people know that if you want to get some fucking amazing work done on your bike, Josh Rundlett Performance and Machine in Cherry Valley, California. Send your shit there, you won't have any fucking issues.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like for us, dude, I'd have to say that probably the only complaint that I would like to try to fix, which is difficult, is how long we have motorcycles around us. You know, like how long projects take. You know, because everything turns into a project, right?
Right.
And that's probably the one thing that I would, ding us on if I was, rating us, so to speak, is, but there's a lot of things that people don't understand is out of our control also. Your paint, your powder.
Ordering
coatings.
parts,
Well, just parts.
lead
out,
time.
Yeah, it's just
whatever it is.
fucking look at COVID time. Come on,
Oh.
fucking. How long was shit back ordered back then? That's ridiculous.
Well, COVID was funny because the first year not as bad, but the second year, the things people don't realize is the major companies that build the parts were forced to shut down because of the population of employee base.
Yep.
So they allowed all the supply houses to ship parts out. But you got to remember, most of these supply houses have a year's worth of inventory in them. So if they're not replenishing the shelves,
You're done. You had that 1 year of good time.
that's going to turn around and put us into the Stone Ages for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
totally.
that's what was really killing us. And then now we're dealing with other countries that had way more restraints in that world than we did. And what's funny is we're still crawling out of that, and that's
Yeah.
what people don't
Well,
truly.
there was all those fucking boats sitting off the Long Beach fucking
the piers.
pier
Yeah,
there. They were just fucking sitting out there,
well,
because they couldn't come in. So there was a lot of shit that was going on that affected everybody.
it did.
So
No, it did, and I think that if everybody, I think in closing, if everybody's willing to put themselves in other people's shoes once in a while, and not jump to accusations and not jump to, you know, I don't know, heinous whatever thoughts that you go through your head, like this person's screwing me or
Well,
whatever.
the world of scams today, everybody's on edge. Everybody's worried that they're they're getting scammed. They're getting
Like we were talking
cheated.
about fucking cell phones earlier, right? Everybody wants instant gratification now, like right now. You know, if your cell phone's lagging because of your fucking Wi-Fi, people are losing their shit. I remember the time where you had to fucking dial up on a real goddamn phone line. Yeah, you remember that shit? Yeah, that shit. You come back half an hour later and you were finally online. Like,
Dude,
it's crazy
That's
shit.
because
Yeah,
you didn't turn
got
the hamster
mail.
up with more cheese and that
That's
wheel
it.
spinning, you know what I mean?
That's
Like,
it.
You know, that's what's spinning that guy faster. You
Welcome
know?
to AOL.
That's it.
Hey,
Yeah, well.
you know what? I gotta say something because you just made me think of something. You're talking about the rotary phones, right?
Yeah.
I was scrolling on TikTok the other day, and it showed like this, like adults were fucking testing like the Gen Zers
Yeah,
on
how
a
to
rotary
use a
phone.
rotary phone.
So they had a rotary phone, and they would give them basically 60 seconds to
dial
call
a number.
to dial a number.
Yeah.
And these mofos were dumb, bro. They were like, they like pick up the phone and they like spin the
figure it out.
dial.
They're like pushing
Yeah,
their
they couldn't
finger
figure it
in the
out.
hole.
They couldn't figure it
Yeah,
out.
I
Yeah,
saw
that's
that
exactly
shit.
what it was, dude. I'm like,
Yeah.
freaking
I
morons,
saw
dude.
these videos on Facebook where they're like, all right, they have like a young kid and an older person, and they're like, show us how you would demonstrate that you're on the phone, right? And the other guy's like, on the phone. And the young kid's like, how do you hang up the phone? And the kid goes, like,
Oh, yeah.
right? Fucking
Yep.
shit's different. Like, you know?
Well,
You-
it's true. I mean,
Yeah.
do you know that they don't even teach cursive writing anymore?
Crazy, dude.
You know, I
Shit's
mean,
different, bro.
They don't even know how to tell manual time.
my kids
Only
think
digital.
my kids think I wrote Arabic or something when they see, you know, cursive writing. I mean, it's the craziest thing, you know, and you know, that's one thing that I really, really want to try to get like huge influencers to try doing. The world has become very negative for multiple reasons, and now is more time than ever to start getting away from that because of the negativity that does come
Yeah,
from
totally.
all our current events.
Yep.
We don't talk about politics, but my point is every year during election years, things get a little weird. You know, and people get nervous about spending money, they get negative, they get this, they get that. You know, the thing that I miss the most is the term the United States. If we're truly, truly united, which we're not, we might have a little more, I don't know, reason to be okay with people and how they act and how they talk because we would accept what they have to say without being violent. Without being mad.
Bro,
You know?
you're talking about American pride.
That's not American pride,
yeah,
buddy.
people
It's
seem
not
to.
American pride,
I
it's
don't
just
know.
unity.
I disagree. It's well.
No, because
But what happens anytime there's like some major disaster, then everybody comes together, all kumbaya shit, and then like a week later, everybody hates each other again. That's unfortunate.
See, American pride would mean that no matter what your opinion is, no matter what it is, I'm proud to be an American beside you. That's American pride.
You have a point.
And
You
so
have a point, Josh. I will
my
give you
point
that.
to you
Yeah,
is,
for sure.
is that I want to see all the major. What I actually implore, I want to employ every major influencer out there to figure out how to make everyone that ever has a negative comment on any of their posts to make them come up with two positives that came from it as well. Because I'm sorry, everything has a positive and negative reaction to it. Everything
Correct.
does. And if you only see one side of that, you're never going to find that United States again.
Yeah.
You know,
And
because
that, in my opinion, that's a true definition of tolerance.
yes,
It's, man, we might talk shit about each other, but that
yes.
doesn't mean we hate each other.
I mean,
You know, my little brother, trust me, I talk more shit to my little brother than anybody else.
Yeah.
But I
Agreed.
fucking love the guy more than anybody else. You know what I'm
Agree,
saying? Like,
disagree, and move on.
yeah, like, we've just gotten to a point where if I say something that you don't like, you're gonna fucking hate me. When sometimes I say some shit that you don't like because you might need to fucking hear that. and you say shit I don't like because I might need to fucking hear that. And guess what? That's how we become fucking friends. Because that's the way it used to be in back in the day. Hey, fuckface, you know, so and so. Those fucking shoes look like shit. Yeah, well, fuck you, and then you guys fucking became friends.
But
Nowadays, you fucking hate each other.
well, that's back in the day, right? You go punch each other, and
Yeah.
then next thing you know, you're buying each other a beer.
That's it.
But you know, I guess my point is that there's so many flaws to all of it because everyone just wants to be negative.
Yeah.
You know, if you go online right now, and if you was to look at everything on Instagram, and you just started looking at negative shit, there's a million posts. You find me something awesome, there's 5. I mean, look at the news. The news, it's just negative because it's the only thing people will buy and watch and look at.
And half the time it's not even news, it's
Well,
opinions.
It's drama.
Yeah.
But
So-
it's
ridiculous.
so
I have a solution.
yeah.
Buy a fucking motorcycle.
Wow.
Go fucking ride.
Fucking spend your money building it and go ride your fucking motorcycle and enjoy your fucking life.
Or
How about that?
you can go to
And
Josh
there you
Rundlett's
go.
shop in Cherry Valley
And have him build
and
you a
have
fucking
him
bike.
build you a dope
Hit
ass
the road
fucking
and
bike.
go see how beautiful this country actually is.
Yeah.
Not from the fucking news, not from TV.
Yeah.
Hop on your bike and ride it, and then you will see how gorgeous the country is that you fucking live.
Totally, man.
Period.
Yeah, and stop taking it for granted.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for
Totally,
being
man.
here, man. And also, we appreciate you. We love you, man. Thank you for everything that you do.
Anytime.
And you guys are fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are
appreciate
pretty
it.
awesome yourselves.
Hey, Josh, thanks again for all that you've done for me. You've worked on my bike countless hours. No soul, you always take care of me. I always appreciate that. With that being said, we really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you guys are looking for a really good bike shop, Rundlett Performance in Cherry Valley is the shit. You will get quality work. You will get a trustworthy owner, and just you'll be
bunch of
very,
badassery.
very happy. Yeah, you'll be very, very happy. So we're gonna close out now. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Until next time,
That's it. Episode 14 in the books.
Yep.
Boom.
we'll catch you
Boom.
later. Peace.
Good night.
Oh, got it.